denizens of the Imperium and beyond. This podcast publicly is Alpha Prioris. Welcome to the podcast, The Warp Report. We're reporting live from the inner sanctum of the Holy Temple of the Emperor itself. We're going to be talking about the Adeptus Custodes. I am joined today by my usual co-hosts, Mr. Rock, Mr. Nick, and Mrs. Rachel.
Hey, we're not just talking.
Good evening, everybody.
We're not just talking about the Custodes. We are talking about the Talons of the Emperor. We're talking about
what sect is what part of the Imperium is allied with the Custodes to make the Talons?
I hate everything.
It's the Sisters of Silence, which are part of what sect?
Well, the most important sect.
Anathema Psychana. Yeah, not the
well, we have the Sisters of Silence.
I hate
also
everything.
Also known as Astrotelepathica. Hey, she said it.
Get wrecked. Had to bring it back up.
Well, to those who don't know what happened about this little joke that we just mentioned, we were recording. We had some technical difficulties, and some recording was lost. In that recording, we discovered that I was right and Rachel was wrong.
Yeah.
In lore.
Yeah, because
we're gonna bring this back. Nick, this is the part where you put the recording, the whole situation, if you can, between back and forth between us, and then we go back to the episode, right?
Yeah. All right. I'll put that in.
Actually, pull
Rachel, I just left you a beautiful, beautiful link on the Discord chat.
I
so you can
hate
see
everything.
what I meant about it.
That makes me. It really says Astra Telepathica. That's not. Oh, that hurts me. Oh, why?
Hey, you can Google it. There you go. All right. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I really do apologize for thinking that GW could keep their shit straight.
Yo.
Actually moments.
Yes.
Actually. They're part of the Astra Telepathica. I want to die.
I was being corrected by Rachel, and then I had the moment like, I'm gonna ruin this woman's career. I'm gonna ruin her career.
How dare I think that GW was consistent with naming their stuff ever?
Yeah.
How dare I think that the Sisters of Silence would get anything disrespected constantly by everyone. Oh, I hate it here.
Well, I don't respect the Mummies of Silence. I mean, the Sisters of Silence. But
the Nunas of Silence.
The Nunas of Silence,
yeah. Yes, yeah. I don't respect them. I appreciate them a lot. And they actually, right now, I am painting them.
Oh, nice.
I am painting my Knight Centura proxy.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I love them. They don't get enough love on the lore or the tabletop. Pour one out for Janisha Kroll. She deserved better.
Yeah, rest in pepperoni.
Rest in
Get wrecked.
Anyways,
Scrub.
we're gonna have plenty of time to talk about lore later because I've got tons of Custodes
We have
lore.
enough time to talk about Custodes and Astra Telepathica.
I've got Astra Telepathica. I'm gonna bring something.
We just gotta talk.
Nick, please add the I'm about to end this man's career. Like,
Man,
on YouTube.
Did you just misgender me?
Women's career.
Anyways.
Anyway.
No, the thing that I'm about to end is Luke saving his account. You're welcome.
Oof.
You know what? We lost this part in the recording, and I just hope that you wouldn't bring up the fact that you've ruined everyone's life with Magic the Gathering, but you know what? I guess we're bringing it back.
Yeah, well, the whole point is like I had money. I was gonna play some games last week, and said, "Might as well play some games." I was having a rough time, work, soul crushing. You want to drink to avoid problems, and I said, "Okay, I'm gonna have a me day. I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna go to get a massage. I'm gonna just be alone, but just soul mending." And then this boy shows up in my hood, in my Nurgle garden, which is home there, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna go buy some cards for Justin. You kind of wanna join me?" Yeah, sure, let's go. So we go there. There's a pre-release event, and then he's like, "Oh, this is an event when you get cards and everything." And he calls Justin and like, yeah, can you play for me and give me some cards? So him and Sean, we're gonna play. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's give it a shot. It sounds like something fun. And then they give me the cards. And then this are for Justin. And then said, no. Like a golem. I mean, Smeagol takes the ring back in the day. I took it. And now, this is mine now.
Yeah.
And I already have 2 decks and I went out.
Oh my god,
So-
2?
Yeah.
And it's been,
Well,
what,
it was
a week?
hilarious
Luke?
because it was hilarious because Sean came into my office this morning and is like, I'm addicted to playing MTG Arena now.
What?
Oh, crab baskets. Well, this is your fault, Nick. This is all your fault. I hope you're very proud of what you did.
You can blame Justin
and also,
because I was actually
I'm
out
gonna
of
blame
the,
Justin. No,
I was out of the hobby.
you were a proxy.
I was out of the hobby until Justin invited me over for a game day last summer, and we played Commander. So
See, I never played
So
Commander.
this is what Justin does. He says, here guys, he gives us a beautiful gift of dices, and then he says, and this is actually the truth, and he just drops more dices on top of us.
Ooh.
Thank you, Justin.
yeah, we still need to play
Thank you,
Infinity.
Justin.
That's another game I play too. Is Infinity. Still need to play that.
So
How many
I never.
hobbies do you have right now, Nick?
How many hobbies?
Not enough.
Need more.
Enough to stave off the fact that I work 60 to 80 hours a week.
Jesus.
Yeah, just say enough to keep the fact that I work at the Hagwin.
Actually, that's not even the worst part. Like the hog one doesn't suck. I have a really good boss. So
Okay, that's
like,
actually very nice.
yeah, because they're like, hey, we heard that your significant other wants to move to Korea. What do you think about us hiring both of you? I'm like, hello.
Oh, that's actually nice.
Yeah, so they want to.
Mm.
Well,
We're
hello
both teachers, so it's kind of a win-win. They only have to pay for one apartment, and then they get 2 fully fledged teachers with higher degrees, with advanced degrees, and I get to make sure that we both land in the same city. The only part that sucks is the hours. That's about it. It's the only part that I would say kind of
Well,
sucks.
That's cool though that they're willing to put you guys together.
That's actually nice. That's
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, so no,
Well,
my management is good. It's just that the job itself that's kind of terrible. Well, where I work is good.
It
Well,
feels like
Well, hobby back into the loop. Sorry,
yeah, back.
don't want to drag it out too much. Yeah, we play Magic, and we were also trying to play some games because we haven't played in a while. Honestly, haven't played 40K in like 2 weeks now, 3 weeks, which it's surprisingly a lot since we used to play a lot of competitive stuff all the time.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a lull
Yeah, I think
right now.
Yeah, I think the whole like Tau release and everything just like kind of like hit it all together. We hit like a little slump.
Although
I haven't played in a while. I've been playing Custodes. This is, point of the topic of today.
Mm.
But I think I have a game this Saturday against Rock.
no,
Rock.
it's not.
I'm coming for
It's
you.
not Saturday. Correction.
Sunday.
oh, and if you want to see,
Sunday
if you want to
in the Thunderdome.
If you want to see a full breakdown of that over on the Fort of Korea Twitch channel, we do have a full breakdown of that and all the matches that are going on in League.
Right.
Oh,
just
yeah,
backing
right.
on
Yeah.
good old Rock.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I don't have to
gave
play
you the
Death
advantage
Guard.
in most matchups, just not against the guy who literally made your list.
Woo.
My God.
Shots
Whatever,
fired.
dude. Whatever.
fired.
You are turning on. You
I'm
are
not
trying
saying
to turn
anything.
this thing on its creator. You're gonna have a
Shots
Men of
fired.
Iron
Yeah.
situation on your hands.
I'm not happy about it because I had to play my own list, so it kind of sucks.
What?
Even though
I made some
Well,
changes.
Well, get wrecked. Yeah,
Whatever.
Thomas
No, I
Edison
hate-
made changes
no.
to his electricity too, but we still know that he ripped off Nikola Tesla.
Jesus Christ. I went like the
No, I-
freaking Thomas Edison.
I'm joking.
Oof.
But still, I don't want to play the list because I know what evil ninjas are capable. That doesn't mean just because I know the list doesn't mean I'm gonna have fun against it.
Alright.
Because I know that.
And the last 2 games I played with Custodes, I got wrecked. So,
Mm.
Yeah, but now you're ready.
Alright,
So
I guess.
it was like practice for this stuff.
yeah.
So yeah,
That's-
now you know.
It's
now you know.
true fear.
I'm like
They all have offset
90%
games.
sure though, Rock. That was all like user error.
Wow.
Ooh,
What I'm saying
man, we
is-
got some D3+6
Rock,
shots going
no,
on
I'm saying
today.
Rock getting
Oh.
bodied by the Custodes was user error. Just him just not knowing what
I
to
don't
do
know
against
there.
him.
Oh.
But it's fine to happen if you never played the new codex before.
Right.
It's like whenever I play Tau, next time I play Tau, I'm gonna get completely obliterated. I'm like, oh yeah, Tau can know all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, get bodied, get wrecked, kid. And then you play again. Now you get ready. I don't blame if you lose because you don't know what the other army gimmicks are happening.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been there.
Right.
Done that. And got destroyed.
Right. We have
like playing Magic the other day. I had no idea what I was doing. I sit down in front of a stranger. The guy was like sat down there. He pulled his book with like all his Magic cards, his full with sleeves. He looked at me. He had a mat. He had sleeves. He looked at me with my sleeveless card and he said, "Huh, you filthy animal." and then he just proceeded to send me to the Shadow Realm. Okay, I didn't complain. I had fun. So it was bound to happen.
That's like that's like the first time I played against Bellicor, and I was like, yeah, I got him down to 1 wound. I'll get him next turn. And Luke's like, yeah, so he fights twice, and I'm like, oh. He literally killed everyone except my captain, and then I was like, yeah, my captain will get him next turn, and he's like, by the way, he fights twice. I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
yes.
And then Bellicor sent me to the Shadow Realm, so...
No,
I was sent to the Shadow Realm yesterday, too.
I'm very excited, though. We have a tournament coming up. The Masters.
We have the Masters Invitational.
Yep, that's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be Masters Invitational. It's the top 8 players in Korea, and
I barely made it.
Yeah, well, because of some people with scheduling issues, or one of the top 8 being the ringer, it kind of turned into the top 10.
Okay.
Or it was long story short, I know what I'm bringing. I signed up with Crawny Boys, but I'm having a problem with the WYSIWYG. But what you see is what you get right now, because Gauss Reapers are a new thing. All my models have flares because they're from 2002.
Got the heritage, vintage crons.
Old models. So kind of like sitting here, I'm like, I don't know what to do because my models are so old. I can't play them with WYSIWYG. And frankly, I haven't bought 5 $50 boxes of Wraiths yet because Orgtown only stocks them one at a time every 2 months.
Well, I don't blame you. I don't know what to play, honestly. I want to play Death Guard just because the only reason I am there is because Death Guard. But yeah, it's like a little homage, You make it to this with this army, stick to it. But at the same time, I want to play Custodes because. But I made a list. I call it the Terminus Nerf or the Nerf card.
How about I play your Death Guard, Luke?
What? Are you serious?
Let me play your Death Guard.
Okay. Are you serious, Nick?
No, my God, no! You want to bring my Death Guard?
Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me play Death Guard.
Are you seriously just gonna just to spite Rock? Are you just really gonna just do that?
I wasn't gonna do it to spite Rock, but that's kind of an added bonus.
Because I might be tempted. You gotta do it just to spite Rock because I might be into it.
No, I was gonna do it to tilt everyone else because no one's gonna see it coming. And if I win with it, it's going to be hysterical.
When is the list due? Is it this week or
Friday?
This Friday.
So 2 days. Friday? 2 days before before this episode comes out. Yep, it's due in 2 days.
Oh crap!
2 days before this episode comes out. Wow. Friday the 18th.
Good thing I don't have to worry about that because I'm not good enough to make it.
Rachel, if there was another list to build, you wouldn't have to worry about it. You'd just be like, Nick,
Remy, please help.
I'm actually contemplating what to bring, honestly.
I'm gonna get bullied.
Remy did offer me his a lot of his Black Templar models so I could run Blood Angels, and I considered it, but then I realized I actually do want to win. So
it's funny because a bunch of Remy's Black Templar models are actually Blood Angel models.
Well, I know. There's always the demon soul.
Honestly, I'm considering running my demons, but I can't get 27 Beasts of Nurgle in time.
It doesn't have to be Beast of Nurgle.
Don't want to be your Beast of Nurgle.
I'm just saying. the fact that so many armies steal from Blood Angels models to make their stuff means that we have the best aesthetic. Even if we are a C tier codex, we are the S tier aesthetic, which is the most important part, really.
No, you have the K tier codex, as in Kidback.
Don't you mean tech tier? Tech tier?
No.
Okay, you know what?
No,
that's been the Warp Report today, anyways.
Rock, we're kicking you out.
Somebody boot him from the channel.
I really want to play something else. So I was actually thinking about either doing that or I can talk about it a little bit since this episode will come out later after the lock-in. I have a list where I run Magnus, or I run Mortarion and Be'lakor, and I have another list where I run Magnus and Be'lakor.
I really thought
do you want
you were going to say
Mortarion?
Mortarion and Magnus, and my brain was about to melt out of my ears at the fact that is just like the most like lore inaccurate list I could possibly imagine.
I have the models. I can do it.
And the best part is that even if you soup with Mortarion, it's been cleared out that he still has a contagion, but except for the -1 toughness. But who needs the -1 toughness if we're gonna be wanting everything on 2?
I have I'm just sitting there though because I have a Magnus, I have a Be'lakor, I have access to a Mortarion. This could happen. But no, I'm actually very tempted to run that list because the whole point behind the list is I turn off Overwatch and then charge you with Be'lakor.
Hey, can you put the
Great
chicken?
word of Remy as he says, "Just do it."
Nick, can you put the chicken in that list?
Yeah, no, the chicken.
Did you also fit the chicken? Oh, okay. So Magnus, Mortarion, Be'lakor, and the chicken. You can just put it. Just call it the chicken wing list because they all have big double wings.
It's chicken noodle soup.
Wait,
there you go.
Nick, I got a question though. But if you have like a Primarch in the list, doesn't the Primarch have to be Warlord, if I'm not mistaken?
But if you have 2 models that have to be the Warlord, you get to pick between the 2.
Oh, that's dumb.
I thought the chicken has to be the Warlord to be useful.
No, it's just super helpful.
Okay.
But you can give him the relic, so he still has the 3 of Invuln. His Warlord trait is the -1 to damage. That's his Warlord trait.
Right.
That list just sounds like a nightmare. It's like, hey, I'm going to do my psychic phase. This is going to take like 15 minutes.
Do you know what I should also, Luke, do you know what I should bring with the Mortarion list? I should make sure my chicken gets Spell Thief so that I can just steal everyone's psychic powers and be an asshole.
Oh, God.
Just like, oh, you failed your psychic power? That sucks. Oh,
it's funny because
run
then
the Blue Scribes. So because Blue Scribes, if you fail a psychic power within 12 inches of them, you lose the power permanently.
I really like how that would work.
Just like that, I hate myself for bringing up Demon Souls.
I like how that would work.
You never bring this up with me because I could come up with something really, really dumb.
So, Rachel, you were saying...
I was going to say, that would... I don't know how useful that would be, as funny as it would be, because I know a lot of people are running lists that don't have Psychers at all, like Tau. And like Custodes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd have to look and see what's coming to the tournament. I don't actually think, looking at the list of players, I actually don't think there's a Tau list coming.
Well,
yeah, I mean, are you serious? I'm pretty sure he's using Tau.
Is D in the event?
No, he's not.
Yeah, D's not in the event.
I thought he's in the top, whatever.
No.
Like something.
Let me see.
Nope.
No, there are no. Oh, there's one Tau player. The OG Tau player, Daniel.
Remy.
No, Daniel.
Are you locked?
But there's thousands.
Wait a minute. Wait.
You know how badly I can mess with the T-Suns?
Hey, are you locked to whatever faction that got you into that list? Or like,
nope,
because you're just saying, okay, so like whoever's there could play something not psychic.
There's only one Tau player in the, but no, there's Thousand Suns, and I kind of want to just screw with Tony.
Oh. and then wait. And then Tony brings his AdMech, and then you're just...
No, he's registered in his T-Suns. He's bringing the
I was going to
Suns.
say, yes, try stealing psychic powers from my robots, idiot. Like...
But no, that actually sounds really fun. I'll by the time this episode comes out, it'll be clear what I'm playing. But no, that would actually be very, very funny.
It would be fun.
Yeah, I'm not decided yet. I am torn between my loyalty to my army that took me this far, or the
Custodes.
the shiny new stuff, which is the story.
Well,
That's-
to be
that's me as
fair, to be fair, Luke, you did say I'm borrowing some of your engines there, so.
Well, I may be borrowing the whole
Oh.
army, so you may have to just go take a hike.
I call dibs.
If
I
you
call
borrow-
dibs.
I will eat
No,
you.
if Nick borrows the entire army, I will lend the full army, dude.
Rock,
I wanna see you guys fight for it. I want to see you
I
fight
call
for it.
dibs.
I
I
got,
see
I
you
got
fight
like
for it.
what,
No.
10, 20 centimeters on Rock? I'll fight
Hey,
him for it.
hey, what?
What?
Jesus
You know
Christ.
what?
Okay,
This is a good segue.
anyway, since
This is a good segue because this episode is about Custodes, and Luke
Alright.
might
Yeah.
be playing Custodes. So
yeah, and that's where we
what's all
go.
about?
A wise man draw his sword when the time is right to wield them. A fool dies with blades still sheathed, fearing that there might yet come a time of greater need. For the sake of the Emperor and the Imperium both, we must take the fight to our enemies. Trajan Valorous to reboot Gilliman in the wake of the Lion's Gate incursion. Jesus Christ, this is so goddamn.
So thinking about the Lionsgate incursion here. How do you think the guardsmen on Terra felt?
Oh
Just think
my
about
God.
it when they're just sitting there. It's a normal day. It starts raining blood, and one of your the son of your long paraplegic god just RKO's a demon out of the sky.
It's that
Imagine
scene.
just being a normal dude that day, and it just starts raining blood, and God just RKO's Satan out of the sky.
It is literally-
Jesus
Watch out. RKO in midair.
Yeah,
It
Jesus
is
just
literally-
does full Randy Orton. It's just like
It is literally the scene.
Slithering there.
So basically, in another quote,
Oh no.
ours is the duty absolute. Ours is the vigil that must never end. Ours is the timeless honor, the willing sacrifice, the penitence, enduring. We stand watch that will never be relieved, and we stand it gladly out of adoration for he who gave us life, and whose life we must in turn preserve. We will never earn absolution, for we do not deserve it, but those who believe that would give us pause are fools. Shield Captain Tebalus Maxine.
I'm just
Oh my
saying.
God.
Once
This is
again,
awful.
another
Oh my
thing.
God, that's so
These guys
cringe.
suck at being guards. First, the
They-
Emperor gets killed on your watch. Second, you let the Gene Stealers into Terra. Like, the Solar Watch should all be fired. They suck.
Yeah, pretty much.
The
You
Solar
guys,
Watch
he's basically he's like,
So funny.
damn, CJ, you had one job. You had to stop the Gene Stealer cult.
You had you know
All
what?
I
All you have to
imagine is
do
just like-
was stop the Gene call.
You know what?
All
They
I
had one
imagine
job
is
before.
like a patriarch walking in with like those phony glasses with like a mustache, and this guy's just sitting there. This custodian's just sitting there like watching like anime on the freaking
No,
screen,
no,
and he just walks in.
just
like
make it
Justinian, Tom. It just keeps going.
Just make it simple. It's just a patriarch with a mustache and glasses and a Mickey Mouse T-shirt, taking photos as a tourist along the tourist group passing through the Terra, just walking around the crowd. That's
Literally,
how
it
bad the
make-
Custodes are.
It makes me wonder if they just stopped doing blood games at some point. Like, did we just stop that? Like, it just cracks me up because I've read a bunch of books about Custodes or featuring Custodes, and they're supposed to be like the ultra vigilant, like blah blah blah, and rooting out chaos and blah, and protecting the throne world. And how did you let Gene Stealers on Terra, bruh?
Since you said that, I'm gonna read another quote that pretty much summarizes how bad they don't care about anything, despite we say, oh, the Custodes are cool. The Emperor's realm is festering ruin of overcrowded worlds, drowning in their own ignorance and fear. It is a tumble-down ghetto that burns from the end to end with the flames of war. They do not deserve the Emperor. They do not deserve us. None of that alters the fact that our duty must be done. They just don't care. They just do their stuff.
But like, they don't deserve the Emperor either because they literally couldn't protect him. The one thing they were created to do.
Nick, what other faction do you play? Blood Angels, huh? Let's not talk too much about people dying trying to protect the Emperor. I don't think we have a lot of room to talk here.
I mean, yeah. No, the thing is, That wasn't what he was created to do. He was
Or
not
was
created
it?
for defensive stats.
Nick, or was it? Think about it. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
Do not touch
No.
the hug boys. I repeat, do not touch the
But
hug
I'm
boys.
just saying, the Custodes suck at their job. That's all I'm saying. They suck at their job.
Whoa. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy, that skeleton on the golden throne says yeah.
Yeah, and it just doesn't help that the
Fair
fact
enough.
whoever's right, then they can be like the most brutal, insane thing. Oh, we're just 100 Custodes. We killed 3 million orcs, and we only lost one guy. Cheers.
It's literally
And then-
like
And then you have another book where the Custodes like, hello, we are 5 clowns. You're dead now. That's
no, seriously. There's like
Didn't his
there's a
Custodes
story.
get his spine punched out?
let
Yes.
go on, Rachel. Sorry.
So-
Go on.
So there's like list of things that cannot take out Custodes. A tendril of a hive fleet gets repelled by like 10 or 5 Custodes. Okay? But then I just listened to an audio drama. It was called Garrow Sword of Truth. It's pretty good. It's about the Chad Loyalist Death Guard, Nathaniel Garrow. And 5 White Scars kill 1 Custodes. So what? like I what? And then you see Master of Mankind, which is a fantastic book concerning the Custodes, and also the Emperor, and also my favorite sad boy Blood Angel, Dominion Zephyr.
Beautiful
where-
model, by the way. Very accurate. Sorry,
Shut
go
up. Shut up, Luke.
on.
I will never forgive you, James Workshop. Anyways.
Go on.
What the hell did James ever do to you?
Sorry. Go on. Go on.
And there's a point from the Blood Angel's point of view where he sees the Custodes just absolutely air comboing traitor space marines, and he's like, wow, it's almost like these guys were built for this. Like, they're just cutting through them like butter. It's like crazy. And then you have different books where the Custodes get killed by like really mundane stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a book that people like to bring up, or at least some lore that people bring up, where a world eater punches through the Auramite armor of the Custodes and rips his spine out like he's playing Metal Gear Rising.
But that adds up, because let's do a comparison here. You have brother Ganastus Talon, custodian, Alaris custodian of the Emperor, 10,000 years old, with the mastercrafted Auramite armor made fate to tailor, with a super powerful axe that cuts foes and is perfectly made by the best whatever in the Imperium. That's AP2, damage 2. And then you have Jeff from Mineshaft 67 and 420 with the auto-wounding AP3, damage D3 plus 3, drill. Now,
Mining laser go.
explain.
Well, maybe the Custodes should get their equipment from Harbor Freight instead of getting them from Forge World whatever.
Yeah, Jeff has the Black and Decker, and the other guy
My
has
name
the
is
Forge
Jeff.
from Mars.
The Black and Decker special.
Jeff.
I'm just saying,
It's so dumb.
you know,
they
I'm
can't
just
be
saying,
represented on the tabletop. It's just like,
but like Knights used to be mining equipment too.
that's true.
Oh yeah, that's true though.
and
Imperial
Terminators.
Knights were mining
And
equipment.
Terminators, yeah.
Yeah, but it makes
Yeah,
sense. It's
just
a
saying.
giant robot with gear that is supposed to break mountains. This is not just generic worker with the ship with the Black and
then
Decker
again,
drill.
I'm speaking as someone who comes from the Appalachian Mountains of America. No, this totally checks out.
Dude, I wanna see.
the underground cult being able to rig up some Harbor Freight masterpiece that puts out the same firepower as an RPG. No, as an American, that checks out.
Oh my god, master crafted like Harbor Freight chop saw. It's like AP5 D3 plus 3 damage.
It's just like, if you didn't know how to if you did accidentally make napalm in your garage as a kid, are you really from the American South?
I just want to see knights mining like coal in Pennsylvania now. Like, that would be so funny. Like, if that's
The
what they
knights
were
just
built
bust out.
for.
All
Anyway.
you've done crossed the lines.
Anyway, enough bantering. Let's go back to the Custodes before we go
Back
to
to
the
the
Rollins
Custodes
again.
before we get too
So
far off
we're
the
talking
rails.
about that comparisons. Let's try to talk a little bit about this thing on the tabletop. how it plays and so on. So in order to get an idea how brutal Custodes can be, let's go by talking about some of spicy memories. Here, Rock, tell us where the Custodes touch you in this doll, please.
Okay, so think of an army that everything has a 4-up involved, and sometimes straight up ignores like -1 AP or like something like that, depending on the situation. And they do get a -1 to hit on a 6-inch aura. They also have that. So basically, if you do have something that's hitting on 3s or 4s, they all get -1 to hit, and since it's not a psychic test or anything like that, you just have it because it's like the freaking banner that it gives that buff aura or something like
Vexilla,
that.
thank you.
They have a certain thing that also lets you reroll on once, and also to wound also. They also do have those kind of things. They all hit on 2s, okay? They all hit on 2s also, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I find it really ridiculous.
I'm taking notes here as a doctor. I diagnose you with salt.
Salt.
Go on.
It's almost like they're made to be like the most fearsome melee combatants of the Imperium or something like
just
that.
Just like Death Guard, they're supposed to tank like all the freaking shots or something like that.
Death Guard are not supposed to put out damage though.
No. I mean, they were meant to be resilient, but not as resilient, Rock. I mean, to be fair, you're saying that, yeah, but every model in the Custodes book is super premium in the sense like it's super expensive.
I know.
With the exception of one of your models, I get it. But that's what the difference of you have more numbers than him to any Custodes army.
There's also that, but other than that, it really depends on the people with the dice roll also, honestly, because this is indeed a dice game. So if the opponent manages to do all like 4-up saves, 4-up invuln saves, and just like laugh, and if you manage to wound at someone and like with a D3 + 3 damage and manage to pull off 5 of feel no pain, like 6 or 5 of them, surprisingly, that happens also. So it's almost like they don't die.
Well, I'm
sorry, Rock. Are you blaming the dice? You know when he's gonna come for you, right?
Hold on. I'm not done talking. But like in the end,
it's not done with the salt.
But other than that, they like most of them, like all their infantry, I think they all have offsec, so it's kind of hard to beat them in an offsec game. Also, depending on what kind of army you are playing, especially like in my case. I do like to play like Demon Engine List, and it's like Engine List, and none of them have offsec, and some of the unit that I bring in does have offsec, but they just end up dying while they reach the objective or something like that. So I end up with the engines, and since they don't have offsec, the Custodes, they just sit there, and we just like duke it out or something like that, but they're gaining the primary objective. There's also
that's how you need to just when you play this kind of stuff, you need to play to counter that thing alone. It's a different kind of game. You don't play to kill, which is the opposite of what you do with Demon Engines. You play to kill.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard. It really depends on the luck also. But then they do have like 4 feel no pain against like mortal wounds. So
if the play Emperor's Chosen, you play the specific
I unfortunately have not gotten to play against them yet in the new codex, but I learned how to play Warhammer against them.
Hold on.
Version.
Wait. I forgot to mention one crucial thing that actually I find it really like good for Custodes. Back then, they didn't really have the stance thing, I think. They didn't have that, right, Luke?
Yeah, the Custodes.
With now, they do have the stance thing, which actually makes them like more unique, I guess, and makes them more versatile when it comes to plays.
Flexible.
Yeah, really flexible.
Yeah, I haven't played against the new Codex Custodes yet, but I did play a couple. I played at least one game against my friend with Custodes. Shout out to Josh back home.
Played a couple against Luke.
And then I played at least once or twice against Luke before the Codex came out. And then I played against Custodes in a tournament as well. And it was funny because like I've had the idea to build a Custodes army for quite a long time. Actually, after reading Master of Mankind, it was such a good book. And every time I get beat by or play Custodes, I'm just like, wow, I can do that someday too. I'm not even mad. Like, it just looks like a lot of fun to play. And with my army, especially, I mean, I only have the Blood Angels right now, so I respect an opponent that will come and stab me in my face, and so I like playing against Custodes, because even if I'm gonna die, at least I'm gonna die in melee. At least I'm gonna have a good time. So
Rachel, since you're building your book, your book accurate army, so you have
Yes.
Custodes, you have Knights, and Astro Telepathica, right?
yeah, Astro Telepathic. It hurts me.
I gotta say though, like when I was going with the Custodes, I've actually, for just laughably, I've never had too much of a problem with them because every army I play plays into them extremely well. Because Necrons, you can just spread them out and hit them with the OBSEC game, but also it's kind of like I'm shooting you with 40 shots. Eventually, even if I don't have that high of AP, eventually you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
with
fire,
40
yeah.
shots, auto wounding 6s, exploding 6s, mortal wounds on 6s, eventually you're gonna die. With demons, you know, the big guys, 3 damage weapons, so that's a dead Custodes with each hit. Custodes just drop, except for Terminators. But you know, it's like each one, it's just I drop you with each. I can drop a Custodes with each hit, which is huge.
I feel like
And demons are usually succumb to overwhelming bolter shots. And then Blood Angels can actually be good into Custodes because they're so fast. They can just dance around them and, depending on the mission.
jet
spread
bikes
you
go
out.
burr, Virtus
They
Praetors
all
go
have
burr.
toughness 5
Like-
and 3 wounds each, depending
Custodes-
if.
I
if they're
got
playing-
strength 6 and 8 and 3 damage each.
Custodes can be
But-
just as mobile. They can do pretty much everything.
They are pretty fast, also.
Yeah,
not
it
gonna
depends
lie.
on how you build their list. Like if you build them with like a bunch of dreadnoughts and a bunch of terminators, which I don't know why you wouldn't build them with like a Telemon in the list because that thing is amazing. Even after the nerf where you used to be able to just teleport it onto people's heads. Luke, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's hilarious.
I've
Even
had
if
that
you lost
happen.
it, that is literally the funniest thing I've ever heard of.
Which one? The teleporting one?
The teleporting
By the light
Telemon
of the
Vexilla.
We lost it. No, it was the Priscilla homing teleport or Priscilla homing beacon. It was the funny shenanigans of 8th edition, where you can just have a Telemon or Alaris just drop within 6 inches of the Tabaxilla and 3 inches away of your opponent.
That is so funny.
You could just drop a Dreadnought right in front of someone at point blank. It's like, yeah, and I can roll 3d6 for charges. So, no, you're not gonna escape from me.
It
Yeah, it
is.
used to be
It is
broken.
very Custodes of that. That's actually kind of lore accurate because like every time I read a story about Custodes, they're just flexing how much they can teleport all over the place. So yeah, that's accurate.
Zoopy zap.
Yeah, we have that now, but they change it. So instead of having that, you can drop on point blank. You can only just you can drop, but you get free rerolls, and
For
people
charges?
can't overwatch. Yeah,
okay.
only for hits, but people can't overwatch you when you drop.
Mm.
So that's something they did here.
A little bit less
What's
strong,
that?
but still very funny.
It is very funny.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the new Custodes. I think it just kind of like they were doing fine, but I think this kind of like ushered them into the new edition to where they really get to flex what makes them special. Whereas before, they were just kind of like just existing and being good because they had OPSEC everywhere. But now they really get to flex what makes them special, and I really like that.
Yeah, the only
They
issue
feel
with,
more lore accurate. Funny enough.
the only issue with Custodes is that most of the relics they have suck. Only a few are really good, which is 3, which is all you need, which is just only 3 relics to have a good codex. Because that's
I
the
agree.
If an army
That's
needs
the
more than
maximum
3
you-
relics, I have questions.
yeah, that's exactly you need. More than 3, that's it. More than that, it's just clutter. And the issues, the shield hosts, they were the thing they added as a fluffy thing in War of the Spider, which was amazing back in the day because you had one strong shield host alone. Shadow Keepers was the best one. It was simple.
Yep.
Reduce the strength of weapons by 1 when using a model. So you have a Telemon, toughness 8, they shoot the big guns, -1 strength. Now Telemon is basically unmovable. because you could have that and another stratagem to half the damage taken. So basically, that's what the back in the day the Telemon heavy lists were funny, but now there are shield
I love
hosts.
triple telly lists.
They are
I
funny.
love those.
They have a lot of fluffy and very useful stuff. But the Emperor's Chosen, which is the generic shield host, is still so good. It's just by default, it offers so much,
good.
so much for so little.
They're the Ultramarines of the Custodes.
Yeah, the things like
Except they're
you
actually
have
good.
everything you kind of need. You don't need more than that if you want to go forward. You can make all the shield hosts, which is amazing. I've been testing some stuff. It works, but I know it's not going to be as efficient or as brutal as the Emperor's Chosen if I run that thing. Which I'm debating to play against Rock with that thing just for the funsies.
I always call them the Death Watch of the Custodes because they can just change between shield hosts.
Yep,
Yeah, they can
pretty
do
much.
that. Like, I think there's a strat where you can
Yeah.
just pay CP and just like switch something. or
Steam
something.
Amalgam, yep. Spend 1 CP and now you are different shield host. Yeah, so is that stratagems 1 CP, you can become a different shield host and you can choose their trait. And the funny thing is, like, if you're a big brain Galaxy player, which I'm not, as you already know most likely, is if you time things right, you can have some really weird and little combos because you know that every shield host benefits of a different kata. So if you are playing a kata that is not the main shield host thing, but then you turn a unit into a different shield host that actually can benefit from both katas, now you can have a really wacky combo just asking to slam and get really strong.
Yeah.
But that means you need to play like Siegler, which I don't. So probably never gonna do that because the whole book goes down to only 2 stratagems. I'm not joking. You're gonna spend all your CP with only 2 stratagems the entire game: transhuman and no rerolls. Transhuman and no rerolls. That's where your codex is gone. I'm sorry, but that's all you're gonna be doing most of the time. I mean, you're gonna be using other stuff, which is useful too. But the bread and butter of the entire army is that you can shut down rerolls and you can get transhuman to almost everything, which is hilarious, especially in Custodes. The shutdown rerolls is just brutal.
Hey, look,
it's just beautiful.
as somebody whose whole army pretty much works off of rerolls, it hurts. It feels bad, man.
Yep. And it's not like it's a one-time only per game. I mean, per turn. No, it's per phase. So I can do that.
Big
are you
oof.
shooting me? No. Are you gonna be fighting me?
No.
And that's how I was playing against John a few weeks ago. Shout out to John. I had 3 Custodes sitting in the middle in a -1 to hit plus 1 armor save, and they tank 3 dreadnoughts and all his infantry, and only 1 guy died just by doing that.
Jesus.
10 out of 10.
That's how stupid he was, and that's how he came strong.
If the warlord dies, you can actually give all the trait to the nearby
Yep,
custodian. or
you can
something.
spend 1 CP and become another
shoulder
character
the
who can
mantle.
become the warlord. So it's shoulder the mantle. And then if a character kills an enemy character, you can spend 1 CP and you can choose any other shield host trait and put it into him. And then you can actually start stacking buffs on a senior character, making him a killing machine.
It's almost like
So,
all Custodes are kind of their own characters in a way.
yep. And that is something I'm warning you, Rock.
Wow.
That is something I'm warning you, Rock, because you have a lot of characters. Yeah.
Oof. Big oof.
That was a spoiler for the weekend. Hey.
Hey.
Go on. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know if you had any questions about the Custodes stuff. The book looks solid. We already seen some gains, but the Custodes time of, let's say, time in the light kind of fade off already. I mean, they did great in LVO. Don't get me wrong, but the superior Crusher Stampede with 70% win rate completely, overshadow it. And then I have Tau. With Tau, just,
They're getting a new codex also, right? The Tyranid or something.
Yeah.
somehow. Do they need it? Definitely no. But that's not for debate.
And it's gonna get buffed again. So
Cries.
right.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I've just given up on codexes. I have resigned myself to a life of pain.
Isn't that what you
You
signed
say-
up
I-
for?
I
That's
own
your
3
faction,
You
isn't
say
it?
like you don't
I own
like it.
3 armies.
But he keeps going back.
I own 3
you
armies.
know, so it's almost like he enjoys the pain.
Right.
It's Stockholm's. It's called Stockholm's.
Isn't that the Never mind. I thought is that like masochism? It's supposedly enjoying the pain or something like that.
He plays Slanesh demons. What do you expect?
Right.
Excess and all, including sadness.
Oh. Playing the sad boy music right on the background.
That's so sad. Alexa, play Despacito.
Hey Nick, you don't realize right now, but I played the world's smallest violin right to find it song.
Ooh.
Rock, I'm going to take your kneecaps.
Okay. Pretty much we know Custodes are basically 9 foot tall demigod, super genetic and chance and whatever. They're super strong. But now we're gonna talk about the other addition to the book, which annoys me the most. They spend a month. Oh yeah, we made it so the sisters can have some cool synergy with the Custodes, and they can work together because teamwork and friendship, and it's kind of sucks. No one is playing Sisters of Silence at all because sadly
You even forgot their name.
they suck in the game. Sadly, they suck. I mean, the stuff it's nice to have, but for the points, you bring something else, a Custodes, and now but you want them for cheap obstacle and actions. Well, actually, someone discovered that you can bring this Agents of the Imperium thing. It's like 5 dudes. 40 points, and they do the same thing cheaper. So even the Sisters of Silence got side played by the
Okay, I was genuinely shocked that the Sisters of Silence in the game, they can't deny psychic. So
they can't deny.
Well, they're not psychers. They're the literal opposite.
They give you -1. They have some shenanigans against psyker.
Yeah, they just have minus.
The problem is the problem with those shenanigans against psychers. They suck because in the day you can do it at a certain distance. Then you need to be at 6 inches to do all the good stuff. So I mean, if you're playing Witch Seekers, it makes sense. You want to charge and fight, but they are 1-to-1 models.
Yeah.
Even if you hit like a truck, they're just gonna blink and you're gonna die with bolter fire. It's just
it's kind of.
I was gonna say, Janita Kroll's death had more impact on the story than these girls do on the
Sadly.
You know what?
Sadly.
Yeah, spoiler alerts.
The book's been out for like 20 years.
That book is the Seeds of Terra, and that has not been out 20 years.
But this hurts me, especially.
But we've known she died for like 20 years.
Not literally like Karn runs into her
That's
and
why I
doesn't
didn't say
even
how.
realize
I
that
just
she
said
dies.
she died.
And it's like, dang.
I said she died. You gave up the spoilers. I simply said she died. Checkmate.
I mean, I guess, whatever.
You did this. You should feel bad.
I don't feel bad.
Not me.
Just look at this.
should feel bad.
Just look at this. Like, you read the book, oh, like, okay, Sisters of Battle. This is a battle. Sisters of Silence. Jesus, why? Anyway, you say, oh yeah, you play some Sisters, they see some relics. Oh, Raptor Blade, AP 4, damage 2. Flamer, AP 3, damage 1. Enchant's Boishin Cloak, Impulse save 4 up. What? That's all.
Yeah, it's,
Like, this is a letdown, guys. This is a letdown.
it's rough because, like,
yeah.
how do you, like, from a lore standpoint, the Sisters of Silence make a lot of sense to run around with the Custodes. But from a tabletop standpoint, it's very hard to balance them in a way that makes them attractive to bring on the tabletop next to Custodes. Because why would you spend X points to bring X amount of sisters that really don't honestly do a whole lot versus like just another Custodes, which does a lot.
That's why, especially in the lore, because I'm gonna quote here now.
Oh, okay.
The part here, the Sissy says, "We were banished once. We let their scorn win. We let their fear win. No more. They need us now more than ever will ever know. We can now let them reject us again. Should they attempt to be rid of us once more, I shall not let them. This I vow. Nice Centura, Tanao Aleia." Like, sorry, Leia. They kind of reject you on the tabletop at this point.
It's like, man, Gilliman says, wow, they're really important. What happened to the Sisters of Silence? We need to bring them back. And it's just frantic, angry hand movements from the Sisters of Silence. Like, it's really like, oh yeah, these are they're so important. We need them to fight the demons. And like, in the lore, the Sisters of Silence do an excellent job fighting demons. Like, that's literally what they're for.
Sure.
They go into the webway, and they die right alongside the Custodes, protecting the webway breach. Like, they do a lot of hard work, but on the tabletop, it's just, like, not represented, which is very sad. I mean,
Yep.
I just don't think there's a good way to represent a psychic blank
There's not.
without making them completely.
Yeah,
Wait,
you
hold on. There's actually a character, I'm pretty sure, in the Custodes as the HQ. You can both have the Sister Silence and with the Custody or something.
Yeah, it's
No, but they
Valerian
changed
and
that.
Alea. But you
Yeah,
can take them
they
as
changed
separate
that.
models.
Work relationship goals.
Work relationship goals.
Aren't they like one character
Yeah.
or something?
Hey, I want a work life like that.
You want a workplace where you have to hang out with a bunch of girls that make your soul like cringe on itself every time you see them?
Yeah.
Okay,
pretty much.
yeah, great.
Yeah. Is
So basically, I could just go back to working at
Oh.
Target.
Targets and also.
Valerian and Leia were the
And Starbucks.
was it the one she was asking for help? Like, guys, what do I do? My coworker gave me a knife that teleports his 9-foot tall posse near me. What do I do?
Guys, what do I do? I can't tell. My coworker seems to like me, but he doesn't have emotions. I don't have emotions either. I don't know how this works. It's literally the cutest little relationship that I've read in Warhammer so far. It's very wholesome. For anybody that's not read up on books, there's the Watchers of the Thrawn series by Chris Wright, and they are excellent. There's 2 books, and 2 of the main characters are the Custodian Valerian and the Sister of Silence Alea, and they end up hanging out and having fun little buddy cop adventures together. And at one point, and this is reflected on the tabletop, which is really excellent, Alea goes off, and Valerian has to stay on Terra, or is supposed to stay on Terra, and Valerian gives Alea his Misericordia, which also has a teleport beacon and like tracking beacons and a whole bunch of stuff. It's really funny because this is like a pocket knife to the Custodes. It's very small to them, and to her, it's like a short sword. It's massive. And yeah, they have good demon banishing fun together. And it's a fun little story. But yeah,
I found a cute comic the other day. It was the Emperor on his throne, and then Alea and Valerian are like on either side of him in like pajamas playing Xbox.
that
Very wholesome.
no comment on
Very
the
awesome.
the glaring inaccuracies of that story wise. But you know what? It's fine.
I'll take it.
It's fine. I'll take
cute.
it. It's
I'll
cute.
take it.
It's wholesome. I'll take it. But yeah, there's several stories that are great if you want to get into the lore about Custodes. One that's really easy to read because it's only about like 20 or 30 pages, I think, is Blood Games. It's a Horus Heresy short story. And it's about a Custodes playing what is called a blood game, which they do is basically like they let actual genuine threats loose in the Imperial Palace, and they let them try and assassinate the Emperor, and they send a single Custodes to stop them. And of course, other Custodes will watch and make sure that the Emperor doesn't actually get assassinated. But yeah, if the Custodes like passes the test, then yeah, they can get another name. That's another thing that we haven't mentioned about the Custodes so far is they have lots of names. They get names for stuff that they do, like cool deeds that they've done in battle. So, like Constantine Valdor had like over 1,000 names. He was the original, the Emperor's legit right-hand Custodes guy, the original Captain General of the Custodes. But yeah, Constantine Valdor had like over 1,000 names.
Yeah, and the thing is that the lore-wise, they normally the captain chooses the name. Back in the day, the Emperor himself will choose this name,
Right.
And they will write them down on their armors and stuff and weapons too, just to flaunt it off. But of course, the Emperor cannot do anymore because he cannot write A. But lore-wise, yeah, the whole thing with the Custodes are. This is what I find funny and interesting and sad, because it depends on who writes them. The Custodes are like the most broken, overpowered faction in the entire
so
40K
broken.
universe, which makes you wonder why the Imperium haven't conquered everything yet, and then they are just one random chump just get destroyed by some random generic Jeff from Mineshaft 69. We saw it when in the Emperor fighting the orcs. 100 Custodes kill 3 million orcs. Only 2 guys die. Cool. And then you have, I think you said it earlier, and I think this was on the last recording. I'm Wall Eater number 67. I punch your gut out. Your torso is gone.
It's like a lot of the lore inconsistencies, and this was another thing that was mentioned in the lost recording was I believe Sanguinius being mentioned with black hair, and like people's eye color changing, like Primarch's eye color changing and stuff like that. A lot of the lore for these guys was not built until like specific keystone books came out that solidified their lore. So basically there's like pre-Master of Mankind and there's post-Master of Mankind lore. And that was kind of the book that set up the Custodes, because that's the book that features a custodian as a main character. You get a lot of dialogue between that guy and the Emperor, like directly. And that's something that people, I don't know, that's something that's important about the Custodes is they were made with similar kind of gene technology as Space Marines and Primarchs, but they were really like handcrafted, bespoke dudes to protect and hang out with the Emperor, like be able to talk to him and advise him on stuff.
So it's kind of like a direct comparison to when I talked with my brother about when my parents making us. Like for example, for me, they planned me, so I kind of end up kind of okay. But my brother was made with love, so he's definitely way much better. So that's kind of summarizes the Custodes.
It really is like Custodes typically view, and they're all kind of individualistic. They all have like this ridiculous programmed loyalty to the Emperor. If another good Custodes book to read, even though it doesn't focus directly on the Custodes for large portions of the book, but anyways, you get some good backstory, is Valdor's novel. It's super good. Is that they're really just built to serve the Emperor. And they have like their own individual kind of personalities and stuff like that. They're way more individualistic than Space Marines. There's a book, I can't remember exactly which one it is, but some Space Marines see several Custodes fighting and notice that they don't really have squad tactics like Space Marines do. They kind of all fight as individual fighters, and they just kind of do their own thing. And it ends up working together, but they're not thinking about the other Custodes that are around them while they fight. They just are fighting their own little fights, whereas Space Marines, typically, they do very squad-based stuff.
Because they trust that the man next to them is not going to falter. That's why.
Yeah, they're like, that guy, he's going to be fine. I don't got to worry about Jeff.
My favorite description of the Custodes is they say, like, I think this is from the Space Marines that said, a Space Marine that said this, it said, whereas the Space Marine fights like a well-oiled pack of wolves, the Custodes fight like a pride of lions.
Well-oiled pack of wolves.
They say like the wolves, the Astartes are very well coordinated and will work together, whereas Custodes is just like unleashing a bunch of lions.
It's almost like that's a stratagem.
Each one is just going to rock you.
It's almost like that's a stratagem.
But I love that quote saying it basically kind of, and it just helped highlight the massive difference between a Custodes and an Astartes. Like, it is just not even close.
And a lot of stuff is different with them. Like I said, they are very individualistic, so you'll have stories where Custodes are very human in a way. I'd say Valerian's one of the Custodes that kind of ends up that way. Ra from the Master of Mankind book has a little bit more in touch with humanity. But
wasn't that the same Custodes that the Emperor said, "Here, grab this sword, get out"?
Yes, that was. Not to spoil a whole lot about that book because it is just really excellent. I very much suggest to read it. But there's a line in that book that hits so hard, and it's "The sun rises," and it's just, oh my god, it's so good. Anyways, read the book. It's very excellent. But there's a lot of Custodes.
Read the book. She says spoils
read
the best.
Well, you know what? It's not.
removing any reason for me to read
just
book.
like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I can tell you a plot point, and it's not going to spoil anything until you get to it. Because if I say somebody has a boss fight with a radio tower, it literally doesn't make any sense until you get to it.
I know, that's part 4.
Is that JoJo or the Mastermind?
You know what? I'd like the Emperor summoned his stand, and then
the stand of the Legion of the Damned?
yeah, basically.
Oh, wait. I mean, like, other than lore-wise or something like that, like, I guess, like, if you, like, actually, I actually lost what I was supposed to say, but,
Where are
like,
we
in
going
the
with
end,
this,
they're
Rob?
like half demigods, right? Like, Custodes.
I mean, they're basically made similar to what Space Marines are made.
Right.
But
like, better.
not to the level that the Primarchs are made. Yeah, it's
Right.
like,
They're designer brand. They're designer brands.
Right.
yes, they are
But-
the Hermes of Space Marines, basically.
And, like, in the story, they, like, sometimes they just die in a whiff or something like that, right? Or something
They
like
die
that.
what?
They, like, from what I heard, they end up, like, dying in a whiff or something like that. Like, in a ridiculous manner. Like, this shouldn't kill them, but
Well,
it
that-
died to it or something like that. Like, you know, those kind of things.
That was something that, like I said earlier, the power level of a lot of the stuff in
Right.
the Heresy was not really outlined until the books kept going, because you got to remember all this stuff that the Horus Heresy was built out of
Right.
basically was like a paragraph in a codex from like 3rd edition or something until the Horus Heresy series at large was written. So
Right.
there's a lot of times where people talk about the Custodes and it's like, oh, they died because a World Eater punches out his spine.
Right.
But like, yeah, the power leveling is not super consistent, and it's very much independent. Custodes have different kind of abilities as well.
Right. I mean, they're all different and unique, but what I was supposed to say was, like, maybe you just failed to roll a save.
You know what? Sometimes you walk into the Bridge of the Vengeful Spirit and you say
Okay.
anything but a 2, and then you roll a 2 and you die. So
Okay. So that's to wrap things up. So that summarizes. So we have the Emperor's, the Talons of the Emperor, the Guardians, the Bodyguards. The models are nice. The new ones.
Oh,
If you've
they're
seen the
very
first
pretty.
Custodes model, the first Custodian model is the best thing that I ever made. I won it. But I think we're gonna wrap things up. Thanks for joining tonight for another episode of the War Report, which I think we derailed too much in lore, but hey, it was fun.
hey,
We
I
discovered
never
the
do
most important
derailing too
thing.
much.
Yeah. The most important thing of this podcast today was the fact that I was right and Rachel was wrong, and I want to emphasize on that. And I will hold it hostage until the end of time. Just like Custodes' duty never ends, so does mine. And that was the episode for today. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Yes. May you have a good weekend, and may your week be grand with with Total War Warhammer 3 on the horizon.
Yes.
Or actually, by the time this comes out, already out, and I hope you're enjoying it.
Well, good night, everybody, and Emperor protects.